Hi there, Aquarius. Welcome to your monthly reading. This is for the month of September, and it's so nice to see everybody again. I really am inspired each and every month, not only by the support that you show each other, but especially by the work that you've been doing on your own intuitive growth and development. And I appreciate the support you give to me as well, because we've been on this journey together since I started the channel in 2013. I really started putting out intuitive videos and development videos around 2015. So it's been a long journey, and I've seen both of us grow a lot. So I can't wait to see what the next few years bring. And we're going to be focusing on this next month ahead. So to that end, let's keep it up, okay? For all of my brand new viewers, I'd also like to extend a very warm welcome and introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and the way that I organize the reading every month is as follows. I like to begin everything with a little bit of intuitive information, and I call this the channeled information or the channeled message for the month ahead. And what I do is I select a deck of cards, I meditate, and I see what kind of information comes through in the way of visions, anything that I hear, and anything that I feel. Next, we'll move along to the Celtic Cross, and the Celtic Cross is a really organic way to allow Spirit to move through me and show you whatever it is that you need to see, both the opportunities, those highlights, and also any of the challenges that might be presenting themselves. After that, I like to be very specific in the areas that I look at, because I know you want to see things like health, wealth, love, and destiny. So those are exactly the next 4 areas that I look at, and I call that the expanded forecast. This gives you a nice mix of what Spirit wants to bring through, what you need to know, and then also what you want to know. And so hopefully you enjoy that. If you do like what you see here, please do stick around until the end, because in addition to giving you a nice review and a closing word, I'll also let you know how you can support the channel. This includes everything from, of course, liking and subscribing, but some of you may also want to book an appointment or give a contribution to say thanks and to support the development and production of the videos. So at the very end, I'll go into great depth on where you can find all of those links and how you can help. I put some of it here, but I know that you're very much interested in receiving the information for September. So without any additional delays, let's get straight into your channeled message for this month. This month, as I selected a deck of cards and began to meditate on your sign, what came through for me was a representation visually of the Two of Wands card. I saw someone looking into a reflective surface, a mirror or a crystal ball, and as I looked into that myself, I wanted to see what they were seeing. What I was then picking up on was an image of someone asleep, and I saw the moon over top of them, and it was definitely a nighttime sort of setting. And then clairaudiently what I heard was focus, pay attention. And so I think that many of you this month are going to experience clairvoyance or guidance through your dreams. And for those of you that might be waking up, maybe it's even your clairaudient gift, you might be able to have communication during that period. Like if you're trying to learn how to hear Spirit, you could do it right before you go to sleep or right when you wake up in the morning. And of course, the reason that this works is because you're already in a trance-like state and you're not focusing so much on your thoughts, you're just open. And I know a lot of times that's when my relatives will come to have a chat, or I can really connect with whatever I need to see or hear for the day ahead or the month ahead. I start to see messages at that time of the day. Now, just a little tip, because I do feel some of you might be starting to wake up to open your ear chakras and hear things clairaudiently. It doesn't always come through as an external source. Sometimes the whisper almost sounds like if you're wearing earbuds or headphones. It sounds like it's in the head space. The other thing is it can sometimes sound like a very small or faint whisper, almost as if I had my cell phone, it's almost as if I'm holding the phone back here and you hear a faint voice starting to talk. And one of the common mistakes when you're starting to do that is to try to strain your ears to hear better. And all you have to do is in your head say, no, I'm going to tune into the frequency, because it's not about an external noise. It's actually about vibration that you're picking up on and recognizing. So my advice for you is to simply trust that you can hear, and then focus on amping up the volume inside your head for that voice. And when you start to speak to Spirit as well, another piece of advice is that you don't have to speak out loud. They hear your thoughts, just the same way we're picking up on a non-audio sort of sound. It's just frequency. So you can think to your spirit guide or to whatever is talking to you and basically project your thoughts, and then you can hear the thought that they are projecting back to you. And that's really what clairaudience is. It's a form of telepathy, really. So you're not hearing an environmental sound. An example of how I experienced this in a waking state was actually once in a work situation where I met someone for the first time. I was having a conversation with them, and in one of my ears, I heard a whisper, again, not necessarily in the ear, but it was almost as if it was in my head. And there was a single word, and it was trouble. And it came through kind of like, trouble. And I was, again, having a conversation, and I tried not to make a big deal of it. I just kept having I finished up what we were saying, and then I went back to my desk, and I thought, And lo and behold, about a month later, that person definitely was trouble. They created a big mess in my life, and I thought, my guides were right. I'm glad I had that notice, and I never took a message like that for granted. And so sometimes you'll hear that whisper when you get up, sometimes you might hear it when you're having a conversation, and sometimes it's a thought in your head. So that's going to be part of that. Your dreams are going to be the same way, where it's going to be subtle. It might be quiet. It might be a single word or a single thought. Just like when I do this meditation, I see a representation. I have to go a little deeper, and then I have to decode what I'm seeing. So work on it. You're going to get better at it. The final piece that I want to talk about with focusing on your dreams is this month you have a chance to make some progress, and it's really important to have a dream. And sometimes when I talk to clients, they're so busy working or taking care of other people or worrying about things in their life that they've lost track with sort of like what they're on the planet for. So I'd like you to take some time this month and daydream and get back to sort of like what you thought about when you were a little girl or a little boy, and what you wanted to do, quote unquote, when you grow up. There's a fallacy in that. We're always growing up. We're always evolving. So I'd like to challenge you this month to think about what it is that you want to do, and it should bring you joy. And maybe for some of you, it can have a positive effect on the world. And it really doesn't matter as long as your soul is kind of saying, this is what I want. And then do something this month. Create that dream. Put a postcard up on the wall or a Post-it note, and do something every day to get a little bit closer to that dream. By focusing your energy on that, you can start to manifest it and make it a reality. You have to hold it in your mind's eye, and you have to believe that you are capable of being able to see that. That's the same thing as being able to hear things. You have to believe you can hear before you can hear, and that's one of the sort of tricks of becoming more psychic, is to just trust your intuition. So if you trust it and if you believe that you can hear it and see it, then you suddenly start to open up your gifts, okay? So you can do this on a subtle level with intuition. You can also do it on a much more tangible and everyday level as far as manifestation goes. So a lot of layers to that onion skin. I hope that it makes sense. I have a feeling that I have kind of a wide audience this month. So I wanted to talk about intuitive development, dream work, and then also manifestation. All of that kind of came together for you, for your channeled messages this month. Let's go ahead now and shuffle the cards and see what additional insights are coming through. And after I pull all of the cards, I'll lift the camera back up and we'll talk about how it relates to you and the month ahead. So as we look at the catalyst this month, we have the cosmic egg, and this really goes hand in hand with what I was covering in the channeled information at the end, which was when you have a dream, when you have an idea, when you know what you really want to do, you can plant the seed this month and see growth happen on this. And I think what's also really interesting about this card is when I looked at it, I immediately in my head conjured up the image of the Ace of Pentacles. So for me, this is saying that some of you have a really great idea that you can do something with. In a couple of my decks, the Ace of Pentacles actually is indicated by an egg because it is a kernel of an idea. It's the beginning of something. It requires time, energy, love, fertilization. Like you have to actually put energy into that idea to allow it to come to fruition. But should you choose to do that this month, really great things can happen. You have to protect your idea. You notice the snake, keeping the egg warm, keeping it safe. I think for some of you, if you have a great idea, do the work that's necessary to protect that. That could mean getting some sort of a lawyer involved to make sure that if you need to get a patent, a non-disclosure, or some other sort of legal framework put in place, that they can assist with that. It can also mean that whomever you decide to work with on this project or with this idea, you also need to trust them and know that they have your best interest at heart. I think for the rest of you, this is a priority check. And the cosmic egg is going back to trying to figure out what your purpose is, or more importantly, what your desires are. So imagine this was your last day on the planet for whatever reason. Let's just imagine now that it's time to move on and ascend to the next dimension. If you were leaving today, right this second, what would your regrets be? Think about that. Do you wish that you had said, I love you to someone, or I'm sorry? Do you wish you had tried to learn something different in your life? That you traveled, that you had some sort of experience that enriched you, but for whatever reason, you either denied it to yourself, you didn't receive the support from friends, family, or society that would have allowed you to somehow germinate and go into that new existence. Well, this isn't your last day on the planet, so you have a chance now to create a new blueprint for yourself. So put these items down on a to-do list and take what could have been a regret and make it a goal. And pick of all of those sort of potential regrets, the one that is the most appealing to you, the one that you really think, no, I gotta focus on this. I can't leave until I do this. And when you have that focal point, then you know what you should be focusing on this month. Everything else is going to then rotate around that. And every day this month, you're going to do something to bring you closer to that. Because when I see something this powerful in the catalyst position, and by the way, the catalyst is what affects everything else in your life. So this is showing that you can change the whole trajectory of your life if you start to work towards that goal. So I'm really excited for you, but it really boils down to a decision on your part. We have judgment in reverse in the crowning position, and I'll talk more about it when we get to that part of the spread. But just at first glance, one thing that I want to impart upon you, or impart on you, is the idea that you can do it. I feel like some of you didn't have the support that you needed from your family, maybe when you were growing up, or you are so sort of like hard on yourself and maybe kind of like a recovering perfectionist that it's hard for you to sort of just allow yourself to try something for fear of failure or for fear of judgment. So release that and have fun with it, and think of maybe how it was when you were a little kid just sort of playing in the sandbox. You weren't worrying so much about if the castle fell apart. It was just fun and play. So whatever you pick this month to really focus on, there needs to be a little bit of enjoyment, of celebration, of discovery that's a part of it. And I think that might also be what's lacking from many of your lives. When you get up in the morning, what are you looking forward to? What's kind of fun and what really feeds you? Create something in your life. You're going to feel richer for that. And just as an egg is nourishing for your body, this is going to be nourishing for your soul. And then it's going to hatch into something beautiful as well. So, I'm excited for you, but it does require a little bit of work on your part. And I think some of you also might be holding on to something too tightly. And that's something that I've seen across several signs. So if you really, really love something, this month it's also about allowing it to grow, allowing the whatever's within this sort of cocoon or egg to sort of spread its wings and fly. So let's go ahead now and look at each card one by one, and we'll get a little deeper into what this month has in store for you. The first message that I received as I look at the center here is to do less, but do it better. The Seven of Wands indicates that you can do anything that you put your mind to, but you might be trying to manage too much. It's sometimes a card that comes through when people are having a difficult time delegating because they think they're the only ones that can do it the right way. Maybe that's true, but you're also not letting people around you grow. So if you hold things back or if you try to protect them, then you're only sort of stressing yourself out and kind of cheating them of an opportunity to find out what their true limits and true potential might be in this world. So step back a little bit, focus more on what you need to be doing, let go of some things, and do whatever you're doing a little bit better. So limit scope, take out some of that noise. You're going to be a lot happier. You're going to have more energy, and you're going to be not only more focused at what you're doing, but more successful as well. By doing this, you open yourself up to creativity. We have the High Priestess here, which is psychic, creative, and in tune with purpose. Now, the High Priestess absolutely connects with a lot of this intuitive stuff that we discussed when we were looking at the channeled message earlier. So, if you take some of that, the responsibilities off your plate, you'll have more time to meditate. You'll have more time even while you're doing a task to channel and connect. And I see that for many of you this month, it feels like I've got a lot of artists that are tuning into this because in the recent past, 8 of Pentacles, and in the environment, 3 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles is learning, 3 of Pentacles is mastering something. So you could actually very quickly pick something up this month, not only because you're a quick study, but I feel that some of you have an affinity for this project, this idea, or this endeavor because you've done it in a past life and you have some of that knowledge that is sort of being downloaded from your soul. So you absolutely want to go with the passion this month, and that's why I want you to do that meditation on what your potential regret would be. Make it a goal, make it a dream, feed that dream, and you'll be surprised at how quickly you can see some movement and traction in that area. Another message that comes through with the 2 of these cards is to try not to force anything to happen. This can sometimes be a card of pulling strings or trying to manipulate. This can be about being too pushy or too sort of aggressive with something. So I think that what's important this month is that if someone is going to be there to support you or is interested in you or is interested in whatever it is you're trying to present to the world, they're going to do that because that is a genuine feeling. If you have to convince, if you have to oversell, or if you kind of come off in a way that feels like you're too much in need of that, it's going to sort of kill that momentum that we talked about. So trust yourself enough to know that when the timing is right, everything will come into focus. Now, many of you in your dreams and your meditations may be sensing a shift that is happening. I see it in the past, and it's coming through as an echo, not just of the past, but also of what's coming through in the future. So the Tower comes through when there is a move, when there's a massive change, when it sometimes feels like it's hard for you to kind of get grounded or get control on your life in general. And so I think what you want to do is look at the last time you felt unsteady, since this came through in your deep past. It could be, again, a financial situation. It could have been the last move. It could have been a loss of a loved one. Whatever that was, there's a little bit of residue, of sort of energetic residue that you're holding on to from that experience. So travel into that fear, travel into that anxiety, and just kind of have a talk with yourself and say, I learned from that. I'm not going to repeat that. And I'm grateful that this memory or this experience is coming up in my thoughts this month because it's going to prepare me for the change that is inevitable, that's going to be coming through. When I look at your outcome, it's the 10 of Wands. So I do see a move, but it's not going to feel as anxiety-ridden as before. There is a big difference between the 10 of Wands and the Tower. The 10 of Wands is a choice. It's you moving on or graduating or embracing an opportunity because it's the right thing at the right time. The Tower is, oh my goodness, I have to make a change right now and I'll take whatever I can get. So if you've had some sort of a recurring dream about a change going on in your life, it could be a move, a new relationship, a new job, a shift in your finances. It is showing you how you have learned from the past, and yes, there's something in the future coming through, but if you can approach this new change in your life with optimism and with a sense of empowerment, it will not feel like it's a destabilizing reoccurrence of the past, okay? So I'm seeing a connection between the two, but it's not the same thing, and it's going to feel a lot better this time. In fact, it looks like there's some excitement and some stability associated with it, so relax, okay? In the recent past, we have the Eight of Pentacles. The card is reversed. This is, for many of you, indicating that you've been feeling like you're kind of in the weeds of looking at a document, worrying about your finances, or you could also be getting involved in the minutia of everything going on around you. This could be someone else's life that's stressing you out. You might be listening a lot, internalizing a lot, and I think what you want to do this month is to support people as you can, but then also make sure that you're not neglecting who you are, because this is a card of learning. And if we were to flip it in the upright position, it would be to review, to spend all of that time, energy, and insight on how you can better yourself, how you can apply all of your aggregate life experience to this month right now, focusing on the cosmic egg. What is it that you need to be doing? So I think it's great that a lot of your energy is going out as support, but just as important this month to bring some balance to that. So really try to kind of be there for others, but then match that and also be there for yourself. So that's really the main message with that. The other thing is, for those of you that are creating something, if you are an artist, if you have a business, if you're a writer, if you're a producer, the Eight of Pentacles is showing that there's still some work to be done on that project, but it's in pretty solid shape, and there's also a lot to like about it. Again, I'm interpreting the cosmic egg for those of you that are creative or entrepreneurial as sort of like the Ace of Pentacles, which means you've got this golden idea. It's a golden egg almost, but you just have to figure out how to polish it, how to sell it, and then also to continue to feel the worth that you are carrying with that, because it's ultimately your belief in it that's going to allow other people to see it and want to buy it and want to invest in it. And I will say this, for those of you that are trying to do something, it's quite possible by the end of this month that you could get to a point where you're able to have a draft or a proposal ready for people to look at, or at least get something to the point that you have enough information that you can pitch the idea, and that's going to garner some interest and possibly even some financial support. As I take a quick look at general finances, I have both the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands connected. For some of you, there is a move, and this move could generate revenue. There could be a sale of a house, and for the rest of you, this could also indicate perhaps a sale of something else, a liquidation of an asset, or money that's coming in, but it comes through an unusual channel. So I think what the most important thing that I could tell you with your finances is to be patient this month. I've seen that across many, many signs. So I wouldn't spend large amounts of money. Instead, I would focus on taking what I have and stabilizing it. And actually right under the Three of Pentacles, we have the Hierophant, which is a completely safe investment, not doing anything in the stock market or putting any unnecessary risk in things. So take your investments and stabilize them, and think about what you can leverage for the future, and then expect something unexpected, either through a friend or family member, or possibly a new job situation that pops up. I see additional revenue coming in. The exact point of contact for that does not come through in this particular spread, but I can see that within the next 10 to 12 months, finances do improve for you. Also, given that we have two tens, this could be from October to October, so October 2019 to October 2020. It's a one-year cycle. It's starting fresh. You have about a month's notice before this big shift starts to take place. So be patient, be awake, be aware, and be optimistic as this is happening. So I think we more than covered everything with the Eight of Pentacles. One last thing is to, again, keep that journal. Anything that you write this month, there's a lot of power infused with that, especially with the High Priestess attached to that. So know that you're going to be able to sort of think yourself out of a situation as you kind of put it on paper. Just like sometimes when you have a conversation with someone, it helps you sort your thoughts out. The same thing is true with writing this month. In your crowning position, you have the Judgment card in reverse. And this is really saying to be careful when it comes to litigation this month. Whenever I see Justice or Judgment reversed, it can show that it's difficult to convey your side of the story. Judgment is a little bit softer sometimes than Judgment reverse, which just means that you might have a lost cause. But with Judgment reverse, it still is showing that it's going to be hard to break through somebody's preconceived notions. In fact, when I go into the ego of that situation, even the ego of yourself, we have a very, very stubborn card, which is the High Priest or the Hierophant in reverse. And that is someone that is very much set in their ways. So the message here is take your time on something, try to de-escalate any situation before it gets to management or to the courts or to somebody that has to sort of decide on your behalf. It's better if you can work it out with that person face to face. And in fact, as we look at near future, you can have a friendly outcome from something like that. Before I move into the near future card, I just want to acknowledge that as I look at this, the one card that's upright is the Tower, which is a card of change. The rest of these cards are reversed. This is highly unusual. And what I think is coming through for you this month is a chance to just basically reset things across the board. And so as appropriate, I'll tell you how you can basically embrace the most positive aspects of each card. And if there's any additional messages that come through as to why it could be reversed, I'll go into that. But one thing that I see for you is that timing is very malleable this month. A lot of this has to do with how you feel, and a lot of it has to do with how prepared and how sort of open you are to things. That's why Judgment is in the crowning position. So if you see things as possible, they open up. If you think they're not, then they close on you. So I really want you to own your thought process this month and realize that it's actively and very, I would say, physically kind of creating your own reality. So there's power in that. I mentioned that with another sign. Yours is even more so, I would say, as I'm looking at all of these cards. So really be as positive as you can, be as open as you can. That's going to be important. As we look at relationships here in the near future, I think that for many of you, unexpected friendships could come into your life. The Four of Wands for me is a very positive card. It usually indicates a person with whom you share a lot in common and also a very reliable friend or relationship. This is a card about getting serious about things. For those of you that are single and looking, that card is accentuated by 10 of Pentacles, which is a card of commitment. 10 of Wands, which is a card of movement, and the Judgment card, which is deciding you might want to go after, this great relationship opportunity that could be coming in. So I definitely see the ability to connect with somebody this month, and with the High Priestess at the center, it could be a deep soul connection. So if you're single and looking, then I see this happening potentially through a work connection because we have the 10 of Pentacles, or someone that is close family member might kind of invite you to another event, but it does seem structured. It isn't just a casual sort of thing. So it may be a celebration for somebody that is graduating, someone that just got promoted, or a work type situation. You could meet someone through that. If you're single and happy, then the Four of Wands is a great card for partnerships, for building a new business partnership with someone. The reversal on this can show that for some of you, you're going to have to do a little bit of the legwork to find that person, but I see that being a fruitful endeavor for you this month. If you're in an existing relationship, there is a little bit of stagnancy here when I'm looking at the Hierophant reversed, and it's encouraging you to break out of your sort of what's comfortable. Sometimes you fall into a sort of rhythm, and that's good when you're in a relationship, but if it gets too predictable, it can be boring. But the good news is for those of you that feel like you're in a really stable relationship, I'm not seeing a major shift. If, however, there has been some arguments or some disagreements, we have the Seven of Wands, someone getting defensive, Judgment reverse, someone kind of bringing it to a head, maybe even saying, are you sure we want to be together? And then the 10 of Wands, it can show someone moving out. In essence, this month is a month of amplification when it comes to all of your relationships. The good ones get better. The difficult ones are going to go through the test, and you'll really know at the end of the month if you want to maintain those relationships. And if there's someone that really drives you a little bit crazy this month, keep them at arm's length, because that Seven of Wands, Judgment, and 10 of Wands card definitely shows that you might have some disagreements that cross the line. And unless you're willing to let go of that person, this month you want to walk very carefully around that kind of energy, okay? This card also indicates that it's a good time to think out of the box when it comes to business ideas, whether you're in a big corporation, a small company, or you own your own business. Whenever I look at Hierophant reverse, it's about trying to anticipate the next big thing or to kind of buck the trend and still sort of help people do something, but in a way that they didn't know that they wanted to do it. So there's a little bit of marketing, there's a little bit of forward thinking that's coming through. Some of you may have a daydream or a dream that leads you into this sort of big idea, and that's what the cosmic egg is. So definitely, as I said, patent that, make sure everything's together, and then know that this sort of forward thinking idea is going to catch on. What I see in the environment is a lot of progress with work, with writing, with revision. For some of you, this can indicate that you are going to get recognized. The Three of Pentacles, if you look at the traditional Rider-Waite card, shows someone carving something and there's people admiring the work. What does this mean for you? It means that if you're looking for a job, send out a CV or a resume. This is a month when people look at that and they highly resonate with what you've put together, especially because I'm seeing that you've spent some time trying to find the best pieces. With the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles here, you've done some revision, you've finally gotten it to that Three of Pentacles point where it's really fine-tuned. And the other thing that I see is that you're just going to excel at any sort of written work and small detail-oriented work. And this could actually be something that helps you get a promotion in the long run. Also, don't be afraid to write a proposal or pitch an idea, as I said earlier, especially if you're looking for a way to justify, a raise or a promotion. Because right above that in the possibility space, we have the Ten of Pentacles. If you're not going to get it this year because the card was reversed, you may get it next year, but you have to bake that into your desire, into your plan, into your professional goals. So this is a good time to have those kind of conversations. And I mentioned that there is a big opportunity to move up, to move on, to try something new with the Ten of Wands here. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. Big expansion going on with work, with personal skills, and possibly even where you're living or working. So a lot of change on the horizon for you. A lot of it is within your control. And again, unlike the past where I feel like some of you had to make changes just because you were trying to keep up with all of, the sort of chaos, this time you have a lot of planning, a lot of decisions that you can make that will affect it in a way that it feels more comfortable. You have more control. So just remember, positivity is key as we looked at that Judgment card. Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And each of these cards is multifaceted. As we take a look at the health card, it's not always about the body. And actually, this month in particular, I've been noticing it's more of a way of thinking, or it's more about the energy of the situation, or again, even your energy. So let's see what you're bringing in from a health perspective this month. The message this month is the garden and the gate. And when I'm looking at this, it's really about making sure that you're getting outside. When I think of a gate, I think of things that are closed or a gatekeeper. And for you, you need to sort of open up your thoughts, open up your opportunities. I'm also getting a little bit of an opening around the heart space as well. So this is allowing yourself to sort of experience something fun, something that is fulfilling. Because there is a lot of work going on this month. I just want to make sure that you're attached to the overall outcome, as we talked about at great length earlier. For me, the garden also shows growth. And I would say if there's anything that you're trying to do from a knowledge perspective, that Eight of Pentacles can be going back to college or school or getting some sort of training. The Three of Pentacles can be applying that knowledge, and the Ten of Pentacles is growth associated with that. So what I'm really seeing for many of you is this sort of expansion with your confidence and with your ability to really share some sort of a gift with the world. And even if this isn't something that you've learned in school, you might be training yourself, and now you have this new thing that you want to share. So whether it's a trade or a skill or something that you really have felt like you just wanted to throw yourself into, this is the month to see expansion in that area. And this is going to bring you happiness and open up your heart space. And that's the main thing that I think is coming through from an energetic perspective. As I quickly look back at what other messages could be coming through for health, whenever I see the Ten of Wands, especially with this card reversed, it's about how you carry heavy things. So be careful this month, whether you're carrying groceries or you have a job where there's a lot of physical or manual labor. You just want to make sure that you don't throw your back out, because that's something that can happen with the Ten of Wands, especially reversed. When I'm also looking at all of these Pentacles cards, a lot of times that can show an abundance of one thing in your diet. Sometimes it's too much protein or too much of one nutrient, so just be careful with that. And other than that, it's actually looking pretty good for you this month. So I think that it really is more about energy of personal growth. And that's where a lot of this energy wants to go. So embrace that, and I think it's going to make you happier and healthier in the long run. As we take a look at wealth, there's a message here to ask for a sign. The interesting thing for this is that I actually feel the sign has already come through. And this is what we were talking about with your channeled message, which is to be open to the different ways that the universe can communicate with you. It's not always going to be directly the way that you think it will be. So if you are kind of vague in the way that you want the sign to come through, it could be something as simple as a song on the radio, a billboard, a license plate, or a persistent thought. Intuition does not always have to sort of look like it does on television. It comes through in a whisper. So listen this month, because what you need is actually already there. And I'm going to sum up what I see in front of me here, which is, for some of you, the answer is it's time to move on. We have Judgment, which is making a decision, and this card, which, Ten of Wands, is typically about deciding to move forward. So if you're not getting what you need with respect to a job or an employment situation, it's time to step up or to move on. Of course, we're in an interesting sort of situation with global economies not being stable, so you definitely want to have a plan B in order before you quit. And the good news for you is it looks like some of you are very well connected with that Four of Wands card. And as I said this month with the Three of Pentacles there, which shows, whatever you're putting out there being well received, this is a good month for job seeking. So just make sure if you're looking to move or move on, move up, etc., that you've done your homework and that you have a plan B. And if you do, then this is a great time to kind of make that change. The good thing about this is that's part of the way that you could avoid some sort of a repeat from the past. Because what I think happened for some of you in the past is you stayed too long in a particular way of being, and then the universe was like, all right, it's time to shift you out of this. So trust what you feel, move forward with confidence, and you should be in a good space. The other thing is, some of you don't even have to worry about trying to navigate into a new job or anything like that, because I see that you're sitting on a great idea, and it's more a matter of how are you going to convey that to the world, so that you could get an offer on that. So you may be deciding to completely sort of circumvent a traditional corporate job, more for sort of a self-employment route, which is A-OK, and that is very much supported in the cards. So I see that what you need to do, you already know that you want to do it. So the cards are giving you a nudge and giving you permission to go down that path. You've already received the signs and the signals that you need. Just take some time to meditate on this and think from a heart and soul perspective when you're ready. That's going to really dictate when the move happens. Again, I'm seeing a lot of tens, so you may need one more month to sort of sit with it and make your decision, but it feels like this October or next October is what keeps coming through for major changes with your job. Let's move along now to love, and a reminder that love isn't simply what you're feeling in a romantic relationship, but it's also how you're connecting with friends, with family, and with new people coming into your life. The message this month for love is about getting to know that person. It says, as you reveal your innermost selves to one another, your bond deepens. And we have some great cards allowing just that. The Four of Wands is basically that it's conveying that things start with friendship this month. So if you do meet a partner with whom you have this great connection, it seems like there's so much that you have in common that you could begin this as a friendship. And in an existing relationship, it's about getting back to that commonality, about just really spending some time together and talking. I said earlier that I wasn't necessarily seeing some romantic interlude. The intimacy that's coming through this month is about knowing that whoever you love in your life, that they have your back, that they care about you, that they know you in a way that no one else does. This type of relationship, whether it's a best friend, a partner, someone new that you've met, that's actually the most important kind of connection that you can make. When I look at all of the cards and the message on this particular card, I think that the important thing for you this month is to focus on all of those existing connections in your life. You're going to be able to make them that much richer by simply getting to know that person, getting to know yourself, sharing things about yourself like it's saying. And this is what I see with the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is, someone that you would consider family even if you don't have common ancestors. So this is your chosen family. And sometimes as you go to college, you'll experience that, especially if you go far away from home. Suddenly you kind of adopt these people in your life and you feel like, you might have a proxy mother or proxy sister or brother. And whoever these people are this month, I really want you to get to know them, let them know that you care, and listen to them. They have things to share with you as well, and this is going to make you connect with them even deeper than you already do. We have a really interesting message coming through in Destiny. I just mentioned that chosen family or existing relationship seems to be where a lot of the energy is flowing this month. And now we actually have a message specifically about romantic connections. It says, romance angels are helping you. And so if you're going through a difficult time, whether it is a coupling or a decoupling, or whether you're trying to sort of get yourself out there and meet somebody new, just release some of that expectation on how this should work out. That also is what we see here with the Seven of Wands. You don't have to force anything. When you can just simply trust that if something's meant to be, it will, and if it isn't, then you can release it, then the universe here also has your back, much like we were talking about a friend in your life. So just rest assured in that sort of perspective, and then the right kind of partnership is going to enter in. So whether it's love, business, or friendship, there is a new person that's on the horizon. I feel like this is more October is the month when I see a lot of things opening up for you. So between now and then, this is the time for you to release patterns in your life, particularly attachments to painful memories from the past. And as this movement happens in the future, this change, whether it's a job, a friendship, a financial situation, you're going to be ready for it, and you will have sort of let go of all of this stuff so that you've made room in your life for new things. And for some of you, that could include love relationships or friendships. So I'm feeling pretty good overall about everything that we've looked at. I'd like to do a quick review to bring everything into focus, and then I'll leave you with the closing word. Your channeled message this month was to focus on your dreams, both the symbology that's coming through, and then also more specifically on what you're trying to create in this world. And that is also supported as we look at the catalyst here with the cosmic egg. I mentioned that this is very close to the Ace of Pentacles, meaning that whatever dream or idea you have, it could be something that's so unusual, so unconventional, as we see with the Hierophant in reverse, that it could change the way people do something. Hold on to that, and the protection here could actually be a patent or a legal agreement, a non-disclosure, to make sure that it's safe. As we look at each card one by one, the messages are as follows. At the center, do less, but do it better. That was something I mentioned earlier. Don't feel like you have to explain yourself or defend yourself. Follow your heart, listen to your intuition, and know that this is going to lead you on the right path when it comes to money, work, projects, and friendships. All across the board, it's touching positive things. Psychic and intuitive development definitely is coming through. Also, creativity. Really, they're one and the same. And when you think of an author or a musician or an artist, they're channeling from source energy, from their higher self. And this is definitely coming through for those of you that are surrendering to that high source and allowing the creative juices to flow. There's something in the past that many of you are looking at, and it created a little bit of a scar, an emotional scar. This could have been a divorce, a sudden move, a loss of someone, a feeling like you lost control. There's a change on the horizon. It's either in October or a year from October. The important thing, though, is that this next change is manageable. So forgive yourself for whatever the experience was in the past and trust that you're going to be ready for the one in the future. Eight of Pentacles, it could be time to go back to school, to get some sort of a certification, or just to learn something. This is knowledge expansion. For some of you, it's about getting out of the weeds, though. Spending less time worrying about other people's problems or looking at all the small details and kind of going higher up and making sure that you haven't lost perspective. Judgment reversed. Try to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Ask for help or some sort of a mediator if you do have to have a negotiation. More importantly, just try to have a face-to-face or settle outside of court, or try not to have to bring it to a place where someone else is making a decision for you. Four of Wands. Really great card for connecting with friends, for making new love interests or new friend connections. Overall, this is showing that people are interested in engaging with your energy this month. So how you decide to channel that is completely up to you. Think outside of the box. That's basically what we're seeing in the ego. As we look at your environment, A lot of productivity is coming through. So much, in fact, that I'm not really worried about your finances in the future. Even if you're not comfortable with what you have, I see that many of you may have something that you could sell, or that you could get people interested in just wanting to invest more time and energy in you. 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, some of the best possible resource cards that we could have. With the 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Wands, this could be a sell of a house, this could be a transfer for work, this could be a move or a liquidation of a major asset. As long as this is something that makes you feel good and more secure, great. Don't make a hasty decision on this though. I think this is a month when it comes to big purchases or, again, big sales, that you just want to make sure that you're ready for that. Looking at the expanded forecast, there's a message that getting outside is going to be really important. There's a lot of growth happening in your life. I think this growth is personal development, also development of a project, releasing an idea. Everything here is really boding well for you. I mentioned to be careful if you are lifting anything heavy this month. 10 of Wands is always cautionary on that particular area. Looking at wealth, the sign that you're asking for, you already have, and it's really about making peace with the decision and just being ready internally. For love, it's about getting to know the people that you really already have in your friend and family circle. It's right next to the 10 of Pentacles, so it's enriching existing relationships. And if you're looking for someone new, then know that the universe is there to assist you. And I think that the movement for many of you, again, is in a month or two. So this month, you're just setting everything up so that you're resolving past issues, clearing out anything that's going on in work, deepening existing relationships. And for some of you, there will be a chance to go deeper or to let go of a relationship. I mentioned that it's an amplification of what you already feel. So if frustration exists, then things come to a head and you might be ready to let go. If you love someone, that love can intensify. This brings your monthly reading to a close. Hopefully you got exactly what you need to feel a sense of both being prepared and empowered to make the best decisions possible this month. That's my goal. It's all up to you, but I try to kind of lay out a roadmap so you know where to go. If you ever want to talk a little bit more about something we discussed, whether it was some of that information about intuitive development or the change that's coming through on the horizon, I'd be happy to discuss that a little bit more with you. Also, if there's something unique going on in your life, maybe it's a change of job or a new relationship and you just need an additional point of view on that, feel free to reach out. The way that you can book an appointment is by clicking on the first card in the video or the first link below it. This will take you to my website where you can look at rates and availability. If that makes sense for you, then I look forward to chatting with you. Otherwise, if you just want to support the channel and say thank you, there's an easy way that you can do that. Simply click that second card or second link in the video, and this will take you to a page on my website where it walks you through the different ways that you can become a patron. This includes everything from making a one-time donation to perhaps doing something more sustaining through either Patreon or by clicking that join button here on YouTube. This support allows me to continue to buy new cards, but it also helps me set up the time to do the production, the equipment that's necessary to make that production possible, and the most important piece is it allows me to carve out time on my calendar. I need approximately 12 days each month to do all the videos that you see, and on the months when I receive more support, it allows for me to do longer videos and also put them out at a quicker pace, which I know is a win-win for everybody. So for everybody that has supported me in the past, today's video was a direct result of that. And if you'd like to make the next round possible, please do click that second card and second link and see if something on that page makes sense for you. And I just want to say thank you in advance. The final way that you can support this channel is easy. It doesn't require anything but a few clicks, and I would love for you to do this if you have time. First of all, if you haven't already clicked like and subscribe, please do that. And then if you want to know when I post new videos, there's a little bell icon there. You can opt into those notifications, and whenever I upload a new batch of videos or plan a live stream, it will send you a direct email and you'll know what's going on. The other way that you can find out where I'm at with videos and also any other events that are going on is by joining me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I also have a newsletter. When you click that third card or third link, it'll take you to my website and allow you to connect with me on all of those different media platforms. Once we're connected, feel free to either retweet or share something that I've posted to Facebook and put it on your stream, or on Instagram, you can even include me in a story and tag me. I appreciate that. What this does is not only does it bring more visibility to the channel, but more importantly, it helps me with one of my planetary goals. I'm here to really help raise the awareness, raise the collective frequency as well. And then as I do that, I want to empower each and every one of you to become your best, your brightest, and then hopefully change the world by helping other people. It kind of creates this chain of light and a wonderful domino effect. So a simple like, share, and subscribe helps me, and it helps me help more people. So again, that's a win-win, and I appreciate all of you in assisting with that endeavor. For the closing message this month, I want to convey something that may seem obvious, but that's exactly why I need to bring it up. I feel that some of you are looking for a purpose. And the interesting thing is the sign that you're looking for, the next step, the sort of big idea, it's right in front of you. We have a reversed here oracle card that's showing someone that is seeking symbology, seeking messages, and looking for some sort of way to get to the next part of their life. And it's all coming through an intuition. It could be dreams, it could be thoughts, it could be clairaudience. I talked earlier about how you can tap into those skills. I really think it's important to keep an open mind, and that's what we see here with Judgment in reverse. To flip this card in the upright, simply start to think of the possibilities. Then you get this almost Ace of Pentacles cosmic egg that came through, which is something that you've been wanting to share with the world, or the sort of next phase of your life that you've been protecting and holding in, and now it wants to emerge. In order to allow this to germinate, you have to take a step back, do a little bit less, but do it better, and then keep an open mind. Think about what is possible. Give yourself permission to dream. I think this is essential because this is going to be what's necessary to create that next step that I saw for you, the 10 of Wands here. It's in the future, and I would say for some of you it could even be more distant future, so we're looking at anywhere between 10 to 12 months. And so you have a year to really get yourself ready for a shift. And as you prepare, this is what's going to ensure that the next change that's happening is one that you choose, not one that's kind of coming about because you have to quickly think and get out of a situation that you don't want to be in. If you're not happy with work, you have time to make a sort of plan B. If you're not happy with what you're doing in a relationship, there's also an exit strategy for some of you. If you want to work on something and share it with the world, there's a chance for completion and success. Overall, I'm seeing improvements with money, but all of this comes back to life purpose and tuning into the messages that are coming through loud and clear, but require a little bit of space, a little bit of focus, and an open mind. Do all three of those things, and you're going to start to notice new things coming through in your life, signs and symbols, inspiration, and for many of you, a sense of self-confidence that allows you to release this dream, to grow, and to become whatever it is that you're trying to create. So make this month count, make this year count. You've got a lot of things to be grateful for, and you have a lot of gifts that are coming through to you. All right. Thanks again for your time. You have so many choices here, both on YouTube and also in life. It's an honor and also very humbling that you decided to spend the last 50 minutes or so with me. Until we meet again, which is in about 1 month's time, I wish you love, light, and happiness. Please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll talk to you real soon.